woman, black hips, black kiss, black lips, afro with a black pig. Love when you talk that blackish. Black man, black fist,
Vokal Dialect,
black grip,
like, comment, subscribe.
Vokal Dialect podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Vokal Dialect podcast. Like, comment, subscribe.
Black schools, black scholars, black doctors, black designers, black garments, black stage, black performance, black panel, black audience, black mothers, black fathers, black sons, black daughters, black love, black honor. You black today, you gonna be black tomorrow. Black woman, black hips.
RBG set trippin' mix, man. Punch a cracker straight in their face, I knock their teeth out. Not playing with none of you coons, I bring the streets out. If you not putting in work, then what's to speak about? Running at unconscious dudes like what it be about. Punch a cracker straight in their face, I knock their teeth out. Not playing with none of you coons, I bring the streets out. If you not putting in work, then what's to speak about? Running at unconscious dudes like what it be about. Go RBG, I let it hang. How you rep for black, you don't even bang. Throw RBG, I let it hang. How you rep for black, you don't even bang. Yeah, I'm set tripping on these crackers. Y'all gon' bleed like we bleed, just the rapture. Coons next, cause y'all tripping with y'all masters. You only show when they drop a bag, you an actor. You colorblind, you don't see shit. Like these crack ass oppressors with they full clips. I'm black in any weather, fuck the bullshit. When I ride, black rides, no news clips. We building lives in the hood. Black pride, I wish you would. Come around with integration. I'm only focused on my nation. Any means when we building towns. I'ma start checking all you conscious clowns. One direction, either up or down. Black power is your fucking crown. Punch a cracker straight in their face, I knock their teeth out. Not playing with none of you coons, I bring the streets out. If you not putting in work, then what's to speak about? Running at unconscious dudes like what it be about. Punch a cracker straight in their face, I knock their teeth out. Not playing with none of you coons, I bring the streets out. If you not putting in work, then what's to speak about? Running at unconscious dudes like what it be about. Go RBG, I let it hang. How you rep for black, you don't even bang. How you do that? Throw RBG, I let it hang. How you rep for black, you don't even bang. Who took your homes? Who brought the blood? Fucking crackers. Who taught the hate? Who fought the love? Same crackers. Who took your homes? Who brought the blood? Fucking crackers. Who taught the hate? Who fought the love? They shot our leaders right in broad day. Racist cops, shoot no warning shots. They let it all spray. You know the plot. They all are ops. Straight to KKK. Fuck a cop. They'll send 50 shots in a hallway. Your son is hit. Mother pissed, cause no charges stick. Lies come. Cops retire. Nothing Harley switch. Snatch a badge. Now they mad. This my polygraph. I know they lying. How they lying? Why nobody ask? Punch a cracker straight in their face. I knock their teeth out. Not playing with none of you coons. I bring the streets out. If you not putting in work, then what's to speak about? Running at unconscious dudes like what it be about. Punch a cracker straight in their face. I knock their teeth out. Not playing with none of you coons. I bring the streets out. If you not putting in work, then what's to speak about? Running at unconscious dudes like what it be about. Go RBG, I let it hang. How you rep for black, you don't even bang. Throw RBG, I let it hang. How you rep for black, you don't even bang.
No, I've just seen way too many videos of problems. But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen any white people get killed?
It's not the fact that black people can't coexist and all these other people are able to coexist, get along, yada, 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 whatever. I think that we haven't really learned how to address certain issues in a healthy manner, right? And I always bring information. And I actually gave out a lot of the copies of these books to people. And this book is African Personality, Lubrication for Liberation. Can African people get along? Primer on conflict management, right? And this is by Funde Sayinka Aswinse, Anwisye. And it's a very small book. It's a very small book and a very easy read. And this particular chapter that I want to read is chapter 2. And it says, it says, the African personality, lubrication for liberation, conflict management, in parentheses, patch your roof and pack your poncho. Rain will come, right? So it goes into a couple of techniques on how to deal. And I'm going to start on page 14. You know, if you guys can see that highlighted, I'm going to start on page 14. And it says, when dealing with certain things, right? It says, okay, I'm trying to see when we'll start. Conflict management and resolution requires, at minimum, realization that conflict need not kill a relationship. Disagreements are survivable. A commitment from the involved parties to do just that, i.e., resolve conflict and move or return the relationship to a state of peace. Recognition that conflict and disagreements in human relationships are as inevitable as rain, and therefore, like rain, must be anticipated and prepared for in advance. And like rain, disagreements, when prepared for and effectively managed, can yield benefits. Now, the parts where I had highlighted. Pre-program yourself. Have in mind beforehand how you plan to behave and how you plan to respond when the inevitable conflict or disagreement arises. No matter how few and far between you foresee them being, or how frequently they actually end up occurring. Okay, now we're going to go to another part. The object of your initial response is peace, not winning. And I definitely want to emphasize this. The object of your initial response is peace, not winning or putting the other person in his or her place. You are a conduit or a facilitator of peace, as are hopefully the other involved parties, not the creator of peace. Okay, so let me build on the. Okay, we heard and I feel like most people, especially if you're older, you kind of can get to a point where we talk things over and we pre-program what we're gonna say. We're gonna say, okay, well, I'm gonna talk like this. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna do it like this. Now, how it actually comes out, that's But what I want to talk about is the objective or your initial response is peace, not winning or putting the other in his or her place. I definitely want to talk about that. And as we see right now, when it comes to conflict or when it comes to a difference, first of all, I'm a straightforward person. I'm a straight shooter. So I don't like a lot of roundabout things. I feel like sometimes You don't have to address everything, but something, it doesn't mean don't address nothing or anything, right? And I feel like in this family, whether it's directly or indirectly, I feel like from a family perspective, there's always family secrets, right? So when we're talking about pedophilia, when we're talking about R. Kelly, when we're talking about Diddy, or when we're talking about anything else, right? It always comes up and says, you know, why are they telling now? Well, I feel it's lame that all of these people are telling. And what that comes from, in my opinion, whose opinion? My opinion. What that comes from, in my opinion, is the trauma in our bloodline, right? Our traumatized blood from our direct family, when things happened in the family and we never dealt with it, right? Now I'm getting to the tell a person off, that we never dealt with it, that we never really dealt with what the uncle or the auntie, because there's a lot of females and I feel like that's something that doesn't get talked about on a pedophilic tip. The amount of females that do it, but they never talk about it because in our state or inability to solve problems or conflict, we just skip past it, or we distance ourselves, or we never really speak directly what we feel, right? But getting to the tell a person off, I feel like, and I've said this definitely as to why I feel Kevin Samuels doesn't or didn't resonate with me, right? Because even though he says a lot of things, that dude says a lot of things that as a man, I can agree with. And I could be like, yeah, as a single man that's dating in some of these ridiculous requirements and some of these ridiculous things that women or females, males or females require, it's just ridiculous. And so some of the things he says, yes, some women or females need to kind of have a reality check. But in order to reach a people, that can't be your goal of everything, of sitting back and I'm going to tell you broads what I think. Because in order to really solve it, you can't insult a person, right? There's a difference between being straightforward and saying what you feel and just being rude. And sometimes that's a thin line, right? But always the need to tell somebody off. Always the need to put somebody in their place, right? And that energy transfers. And that's why we have this de-evolution of masculinity to where the fed up brothers kind of become sassy. Their podcast or their lives or their content is always about anti-woman, right? And we can't sustain another generation of this, because it's much like, okay, because there's multiple conflicts that we have. So take the African diaspora versus the continent, right? And we have all these interpretations of what we think about each other. They have a way of looking at American Africans, and most American Africans have a way of looking at them. And there's all of these assumptions when nobody ever really talks. Nobody, people will always say, this is what always gets me. And this is part of propaganda and that subversion that I was talking about. That people will say, Africans don't even like you. Africans don't even like us. Africans sold us into slavery. And that becomes a fact in their mind, right? And I'll say, but why don't we feel the way Europeans or Westerners have shown us time and time again that they don't care for us? Asians and Koreans have showed time and time again that they don't care for us. Jews, small hats, have showed time and time again that they don't care for us. So why isn't this looked at in that same manner? We give passes to white folks. We give, because we are Americans, and in my opinion, we have a shared culture. So we tend to start to look at Westerners as, well, they're in the same shoes as us. You know, because it is to a certain degree about classism and about poverty, right? So the ones that aren't in the, let's say, the haves or upper class, what's the word I'm looking for? And then you have your lower class, right? So these lower class, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word it. There's a shared commonality with poverty. I want to say it like that. But that doesn't excuse, because poverty is universal. We have a shared common pain with the continental Africans. But in the programming, they've made us hate each other, right? So we've never really had a real talk or a group talk and talk with these people. We always assume. And back to the telling each other off. When you are handling your relationship with your friends, or let's just say your spouse, are you listening to understand, or are you listening for your chance to respond and tell that person what you just don't like, or put them in their place? Because the older we're getting, we can't continue to operate in this energy, these childish energies. And that's one thing that I don't have a lot of I have very few patience for this now at the age of 42. These kind of like childish antics. What I don't like is like the spiteful people, right? Because in reciprocity, right? People say, well, do unto others if you have them to do unto you. But again, in this subverted programming, why is it that most people are prone to pay a person back for something that they perceive negative, that they perceive to be a negative offense, right? You didn't do this, so I'm gonna keep a mental memory and show you how it feels, right? This is why the dating pool has piss and shit in it, because everybody in their shared pain wants to make the other person feel that pain. But why is it? I have my understanding, but I want to hear your understanding. Why is it that we can't show a shared love? Right? This person has always checked on me, right? So let me call and check on that person. This person has always been a listening ear, so let me show the same thing. How come that doesn't enter the minds, right? How come it's always the latter, the you didn't do this, so now it's war on you? You could do 20 good things. The moment, that's why I always said, I would have a friend that I would talk to. He's passed away now. But we would always say the most powerful word in the world is no. Because I feel like no, it sets a boundary for you. And then it reveals the true character of the person. Because as long as a person is saying yes, 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 it's all good, it's all fine. Yes, you can do this. Yeah, but the moment you say no, how does that translate over? And to me, these are the things that we have to reprogram ourselves. Like, this is why I said there's no need for all this fancy information. Now, get it how you live. Get it from where I don't knock nobody unless they're misrepresenting. So how a person speaks, how he or she speaks or delivers their information, that's totally their business. But as for me, I feel like we have to really understand these little nuances, right? If we're really going to make change, if we're really going to come together, whatever that is, if we're really going to come together, if we're going to make any kind of impact or any kind of change within, change has to take place within first. I'm going to say that. But for it to become in and then without, we have to take care of like these little minuscule things, right? Learning to let go of the past, learning to get through the past. Something I also have low tolerance and patience for is the y'all men, y'all women perspective. Now, again, in the shared pain, we say, man, females be bugging, man. You know, women be bugging. You know, they want this, that, and that. That's fair to say. You know, dudes be bugging, men be bugging. They want this, that, and that. That's cool. But when your whole makeup is y'all men, y'all women, that's an unhealed place. That's an unhealed place. That's a bitter, that's a jaded place. How does one heal that? In real conflict management, right? How do you handle the conflict within yourself? Now, in my opinion, the first thing that you have to do is confront the conflict that you have within yourself. But the worst thing that we have is the projecting, the minimizing. This is why when a person is talking about their pain, this is what we have to do. We have to stop, because this is why we can't help each other heal. Because we don't really, most of us don't really have the tools, because you have to work on these tools, right? They're not just going to develop themselves. So let's say I'm saying how I feel about the passing of my moms, right? And I think this is unintentional by people, but sometimes people are like, well, you're not the only one that lost a mother. You're not the only one that goes through things. You're not the only one. That's true. But that doesn't negate what I feel. That doesn't negate what you feel if somebody does it to you. Am I making sense? That doesn't negate what we are talking about. What that does is minimize, because we don't want to dig in it. We say, hey, you got to learn to forget about it. We got to stop telling people to forget about untreated things. Once you deal with it, you have to move through it. You have to learn to acknowledge it and deal with it and then move through it. That makes sense? But to totally dismiss is why we have a mountain of problems like this. It's not just black folks don't know how to get along, because on the cover, look at what it asks. Can African people get along? And I remember the great Nana Amos Wilson. And Nana, by the way, again, means great teacher or wise teacher. Nana, N-A-N-A. So Nana Amos Wilson, I remember in one of his lectures, he was talking about that very same line. Can black folks get along? Can African people get along? Can black men and women love each other? And when we're asking these basic problems, we have a major problem. Because again, this is why I say I don't like to dismiss things, because we are a generational people. We always talk about breaking generational curses, right? Well, one of the biggest curses is our inability to deal with things. Nobody likes to feel uncomfortable. But truth makes all of us naked and uncomfortable. So I just want us, I want us to think about it. In my comments, do not just say, do not look at my title and gather your thesis or what you think I'm talking about this. Actually listen to what I'm saying. Actually listen to what I'm saying and put thoughts into my questions, because how do we solve conflict? We address the problem all day. We'll diagnose, most of these people will diagnose and talk about the problems all day. But how do we move to that next step 2, dealing with it? I'm still developing tact. I don't always say things right. I don't always do things right, you know. And I think being real within yourself, because one thing that irritates me about the so-called conscious community is that we begin to act like the church. Last point before I get out of here. We begin to act like the church. And what do I mean when I say that? Because the church has their concept of being saved, right? They're saved, so they're not the sinner. They're talking to the sinners. They're talking to the outside. In the so-called conscious community, you're woke. I know myself. So in you saying you're woke, or you know yourself, you begin to do the same thing that the Christian community is doing, right? You're beginning to do the same thing and project onto them and say, oh, that's y'all. We talk about the people as if we're not a part of those people. You still have issues. You still have racism, white supremacy within you, within yourself. You still have the books are just a guide, right? But when you read the book, it's like that one of my favorite movies, The Book of Eli. You have to become the book. And no, that doesn't mean you're perfect. That just means you're aware of how to move and continuously to remind yourself. You may fall short. You may slide. You might say things that, that's not so favorable. I could have said that a little better. I could have handled that. But try not to get into that, I always say, that kind of high and mighty mentality to where you feel like you're here and everybody else is here. I read my book, so I know myself. No. Growth is continuous, continual, whatever one it is. I think the so-called conscious community is a very pretend community, right? Because in that we're pretending to have it all together. So this is what I'm saying, and I'm saying this not to take a slight at nobody, but as to us to understand where we are and what we're saying, right? Because we know all of this stuff. We know all of these fancy things about these herbs. We know all about this. But how come we don't have medical centers to treat each other? You know all of this. How come we don't have centers for I'm talking about like we have plasma. I'm not talking about this online, this one or two, or the couple of people that you know. I'm talking about where we have it like they put up plasma centers in our communities. Like they put up liquor stores on every community and on every corner. With the amount of knowledge that we're saying we should have these things. I know it takes finances, but aren't we creative? Aren't Africans creative? Advancing beyond what we have been talking about. Dealing with each other and dealing with each other in a beautiful manner. It may get ugly, but it'll end beautiful. Am I making sense what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, and so with that being said, I just want us to reflect. I want us to reflect on ourselves, and I want us to just be better. Just hear this message and pick this book up. Pick this book up. It gives like very, I don't want to say basic, because sometimes the basics are the most difficult things to do. But it gives very great pointers and tips on what we should do. How we must treat each other. So that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna belabor or just go on and on. Let me know in my comments what you think about my stuff. Like and subscribe it. Like and subscribe. And I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the comments, even the negative comments. because positive and negative complement each other, right? So I appreciate it, and I say peace.
Black woman, black hips, black kiss, black lips, afro with a black pick. Love when you talk that blackish. Black man, black fist, black gat, black grip, backlashed on the blacklist. Still gon' talk that blackish. Black man, black plan, black people, black land, cash and change, only black hands, black businesses, black brand, black banks, black dollars, black